Eloise here. Don't know me, I'm an intuitive healer based in the UK. So I had an email this morning from one of my clients giving me some feedback on her last session, and it kind of made me think that maybe this is something that we need to talk about. So the way I work with clients generally is pretty gentle, and for me personally, it's taken us years to get into the pickle of when disease and symptoms crop up. Normally there's maybe a few months, or something traumatic happens, or there's a series of stressful events that lead up to that thing, and normally that problem or trauma has been kind of like festering under the system for a while, possibly even decades, before we actually start to have the symptoms. And the symptoms is the body crying out for you to look at this issue and heal it. And so it can take us a while to get into a point where we start seeking out help. And normally with sessions, in the same way as we've kind of gently created the situation, we're going to gently start unwinding it. So normally when a client has a session with me, they don't often notice that something's changed like immediately. They might feel more relaxed, they may wake up the next day feeling a lot less stressed, and miracles happen, things shift very quickly sometimes. But generally it's that receiving a session, probably, if you have sessions with me, normally I need to see my clients about once every month to 6 weeks, like 4 to 6 weeks. So like just having that regular session every month just kind of like chips away at the issue, and gently things just transform. So sometimes clients come to me and they're like, oh well, I don't think very much happened after that session, maybe this isn't for me. And and that's fair enough. I always say have 3 sessions before you make a decision if this works for you or not, because normally in 3 sessions you'll start to notice something, or your body will give you some feedback that lets you know that this is doing something. But there are some clients that always want to feel like something's happened, and they're the ones that tend to almost attract having a more dramatic session in some way. And like, if you need to feel like I've hit you over the head with a hammer to know I've done something, expect to have a hit over the head with a hammer type session if possible, because whatever you wish for could come. Now, the one other thing that I want to say on this topic is that every session just kind of shifts things a little bit. We're chipping away at that iceberg that kind of represents the root cause of the problem. We're taking away the easy bits that are about to fall anyway, and then we're gonna keep digging. And sometimes if you ask for a big change, or you're asking for something different, or if you're really wanting a shift in your mind and body and life, we can sometimes get those sessions where it's like suddenly the little shifts make way for a bigger shift. And so I've witnessed this a few times with clients in the last couple of weeks, and friends that have just been asking for something different, and then something different shows up, and it can be a little scary. So I was going to share this session that feedback I had this morning, because it's a good example of this. So she said, this is really interesting. Loving the deprogramming that seems to be happening. After the session, it felt very weird. Different kind of shift that I've not felt before. I felt like I was changing into a different person, in brackets, which I guess makes sense if programs are being removed. It was a bit of a scary feeling. Some deep breaths got me through, and telling myself it was okay. I'm just becoming more of the real me. But I wondered if I was going to wake up the next morning as something and someone entirely different. So she was just sharing that she was excited by it, but also very scared in that moment. And I've seen this with people when when we make a big shift, or there's a big rewiring of the brain, or we let go of something that's really been like a cornerstone of who we are, it's almost part of our identity. When that falls away, it can be a little unnerving, it's a little scary. And we naturally want to go back to how we felt before, because that felt okay. Even if it was pain, it felt familiar. So as we move into this new space, with this new shift, this new version of us, this deprogramming, this rewiring of the brain, this letting go of this cornerstone of all of the crap, as a technical term, that's been holding everything in place, it can feel very odd. It can feel very strange and almost scary. But the thing is that, especially the way I work and with a lot of therapies, your body's not going to shift something unless it's ready to. It's not going to let go of that thing unless you have the support around you to deal with that, or it's the right time. So if you do find yourself having a little bit of a wobble in your healing journey, just know that everything that's happened to this moment has prepared you for this shift. And don't be afraid to ask for help and reach out if you need some support during that wobble. Because just someone telling you, hey, you're okay, this is okay, you're going to get through this, just breathe, like my wonderful client said, it just reminds us that, it is easy. But all the internal ego and all the the safety mechanisms of internally want to stay the same because it's familiar and safe. So making these big shifts and this progress, it can be unnerving, but it's okay. It's going to be happening in the perfect time for you. So just breathe. Tap your cortices. If you've never seen my video on the body talk cortices technique, check that out, because that's a wonderful way of just finding that moment of just letting go of the trauma and drama and just being in your body, and it really helps to integrate everything that's shifting as well. So that's also a lovely thing to do for yourself in those moments. But just be with your body and let it be okay to feel the way you're feeling. If it brings up fear, just sit with the fear, be with it, and just go, okay, it's okay to feel fear in my body. And just, be with yourself and just allow yourself to feel it. It'll shift a lot quicker if you be with it instead of fighting it. And just allowing yourself space to rest, space to take a walk, space to have a hot bath, do whatever you need to help your process in the moment. And just know that it's happening perfectly and that you are okay. It is okay. And remember, if you ask for something different and you're asking for a big shift in your life, you can't complain when you get it. Because it might not come in the way that you predefined that it should. So it's never going to come up in the way that you think or expect. And I love, for me personally, when I've had these big shifts, sometimes in that moment I've been there where literally I've had a couple of days where I can't talk or interact with anyone because my brain is rewiring so much I can't even speak. I've had those experiences, but I just, I know it's the process, so I just breathe through it and just enjoy the weirdness. But I've also had those sessions where it's months later, normally about 3 months for me later, and I just start looking back and I'm like, oh, that's changed and that's fallen away and I'm making different choices now and things have shifted. And, those are the kind of things that can happen in our healing journey. Sometimes it's immediate on the table and things change. Sometimes you wake up the next day and you feel different. But sometimes it may take some time, or it might be a big scary shift. As we let go of a lot of the underpinning issues and the identities and everything that the ego has been holding on to, like for dear life, as us. As we let go of it all, it's going to feel scary. It's going to be different, and that will feel scary in some way, shape or form. So as my client said, just breathe and know that you're okay. Now, if you want to check out some free distance healing sessions with me, follow the link and share your details with me, and I'll let you into some magical sessions that I recorded last year. And if you want to find out more about me, do. But share your healing experience in the comments. Let me know if you've had one of these wobbles, and I'll put a link below as well to my Cortices video, so you can use that if you are having a bit of a struggle. Okay, take care, lots of love, bye.